Welcome to Disney's Pop Century Resort, where the magic of Disney meets the nostalgia of every decade. In this video, we're taking you inside the colorful rooms, giving you a look at the Skyliner station that connects you to EPCOT and Hollywood Studios, and showing you around the vibrant lobby filled with the fun pop culture memories. But the real question is, would we stay here again? Stick around to find out. Hi Disney friends, it's Joni from Mom and Me and Disney, and today we are going to explore Disney's Pop Century Resort, give you some facts, some tips, and let you know if we would recommend this resort. But before we get into it all, if you haven't already, take a moment to hit the subscribe button for this channel. When you first walk into Pop Century, you'll find yourself in the Classic Hall, which is the main lobby. This space is colorful and filled with Disney nostalgia. The walls used to be lined with shadow boxes showcasing toys, games, and memorabilia from the 1950s through the 90s. However, this area is undergoing a little maintenance, and it's recently been updated to include bright, colorful, and fun Disney characters. This is also where you'll find the front desk and concierge services if you need any help during your stay. Right inside the Classic Hall, you'll find the Everything Pop Shopping and Dining Food Court. This is the main dining option at the resort and offers a wide variety of meals, from quick service breakfast items to hearty dinners. And you can even grab yourself some Mickey waffles in the morning, pizzas and burgers in the afternoon, and some fun desserts like tie-dye cheesecake. With mobile ordering available, it's easy to pick up quick meals on the go. Connected to the food court is the Everything Pop shopping area. Here you'll find Disney merchandise, resort-themed souvenirs, and basic travel items. It's a great place to pick up clothing, pins, plushes, and even some snacks and drinks to keep in your room. Guests love browsing here on their way in and out of the parks. For a little extra fun, check out the Fast Forward Arcade, also located in Classic Hall. It's filled with classic and modern games, making it a perfect spot for kids and adults who enjoy a little friendly competition. Whether you want to kill some time on a rainy afternoon or you just want to take a break from the parks, the arcade is a great way to keep the fun going. And honestly, some of our favorite memories have been enjoying some of the classic games you will find at the arcade. Let's start by discussing how this resort came to be. Disney's Pop Century Resort has become one of the most popular value resorts at Walt Disney World. With its colorful theming, Skyliner Access, and affordable price point, it's easy to see why so many guests choose it. But this resort has a fascinating history that many guests don't know about. When Pop Century was first planned in the late 1990s, Disney wanted to create a resort that celebrated the Century of Memories. The idea was that it was going to split the resort into two sections: the classic years, covering the 50s through the 90s, and the legendary years, celebrating the 1900s through the 1940s. Both halves were designed to mirror each other, connected by a generation gap bridge, which would stretch across Hourglass Lake. The Classic Years section officially debuted on December 14, 2003. Guests were welcomed into bright, oversized icons from their favorite decades, from giant bowling pins and Rubik's Cubes to larger-than-life 8-tracks. This resort instantly stood out as a playful and nostalgic place to stay. It offered affordable rooms for families who wanted the Disney bubble experience without the deluxe price tag. So what happened to the legendary years? Although the legendary years was part of the original design, Disney paused construction in the early 2000s due to a slowdown in tourism after the September 11th attacks. For years, the uncompleted building sat empty across the lake. Guests staying at Pop Century could even see the skeleton of what was supposed to be the legendary years resort. Instead of finishing the legendary years as originally designed, Disney reimagined the space. In 2012, the abandoned buildings were transformed into Disney's Art of Animation Resort. This became the newest value resort and was designed with family suites themed to popular films like Finding Nemo, Cars, and The Lion King. The Generation Gap Bridge still connects the two resorts today, now with a Skyliner station in the middle, giving guests access to easy ways to get to EPCOT and Hollywood Studios. Pop Century has kept its original identity, and over the years it has been refreshed with updated rooms and modern touches. Guests can still enjoy the giant decade-themed icons and the playful vibe that makes it so unique. With the addition of the Skyliner in 2019, this resort became even more appealing, offering fast and scenic transportation to the parks. All right, let's talk about the different theming and areas you will find around the resort. Pop Century is divided into sections that each celebrate a different decade, starting with the 1950s and ending with the 1990s. As you walk through the resort, you feel like you're taking a trip through time. Each area has different icons, oversized decorations, and bold colors that match the trends and pop culture of the era. These details make the resort just as much fun to explore as they are to stay in. The 1950s section features bowling pins, jukeboxes, and even a massive Lady and the Tramp statue. The Hippy Dippy pool is nearby, but it's the retro vibes of this area that really set the tone. Guests staying here get a taste of rock and roll, drive-ins, and poodle skirts brought to life in larger-than-life decor. The 1960s section is the most central and home to the main pool, known as the Hippy Dippy Pool. Bright flowers, psychedelic colors, and giant yo-yos surround the buildings. This area is closest to the Classic Hall, where the lobby, dining, and shopping are located, making it a popular choice for guests who want to be near the action. The 1970s section brings its own bold flair. Here you will find giant mood rings, big wheel tricycles, and classic disco references. This area is playful and fun for those reliving their early years. The 1980s section, you can expect Rubik's Cubes, Walkmans, and oversized computer references that nod to the tech boom of that decade. This is a perfect area for guests who were part of the digital age. And finally, the 1990s section celebrates early computers and cell phones. The giant laptop and old-school brick-style cell phone decorations make this section especially fun for adults who grew up during that time. It's a quirky reminder of how far technology has come, and it rounds out the resort's theme of celebrating the pop culture of the 20th century. Okay, so we just got into our room. This is what the standard Pop Century room looks like. We have a Murphy bed here with a table, so that pulls down. It's really easy. Usually we just push the tables or the chairs out of the way, and then the table folds down into another bed that looks basically exactly like that one. And then you do have some cubby storages on each side of the bed, which makes it really nice for plugins and phones and chargers and all that kind of stuff. And then over here we have the bathroom. Let me turn on some lights here. So you have your standard vanity with a sink, got some extra cubby holes for storage, and then you have some shelving, basic shelving. You do have some hangers, so if you need to hang some things up, you certainly can do that with some extra storage down here. There is an ironing board, and you're gonna have an iron in your room as well. And then this is your standard bathroom with a shower. This one happens to have a full shower. Some of the rooms do not have a bathtub. They have just walk-in. Those are typically the accessibility rooms, but you might get one of them. And then this is kind of nice too. There is that pulls out right there is for a clothesline that comes across the shower so that you can hang up swimming suits and things like that. So that's a very basic review of what kind of room you're gonna get. Also, there's a little coffee area here, so if you want to make some coffee in the morning in your room, you can do that. The housekeeping will refill the supplies, so if you run out. And then down below, there's a beverage cooler. Not all of the rooms have actual refrigerators, so some people complain that they don't get cold enough. We've never had a problem, but just know it is a beverage cooler and not a full refrigerator. Let's talk water fun. After all, if you have kids, they are going to want to spend at least some time swimming by the pools. First up is the Hippy Dippy Pool, which is the main pool at Pop Century, and it's the busiest one on property. It's located in the 1960s section and is shaped like a giant flower with water sprays coming from colorful petals. This pool is perfect for families with kids who love splashing fun and lots of energy. Since it's the most central pool, it's also the most convenient for grabbing food or drinks at the nearby Everything Pop food court. The bowling pool is found in the 1950s section and is shaped like a bowling pin, surrounded by oversized bowling ball racks as decor. This pool is usually quieter than the Hippy Dippy Pool, making it a great choice for adults or solo travelers who want a more relaxed swim. If you enjoy a retro vibe and a calmer setting, this pool might be just what you want. And last but not least, the computer pool sits in the 1990s section and it's shaped like an old computer monitor, complete with giant floppy disks and giant keyboards nearby. It tends to be the most overlooked of the three pools, which makes it a great hidden gem for guests looking for peace and quiet. This pool is especially good if you want to take a break from the hustle and bustle of the main pool, or just enjoy a calm dip in the evening. Pop Century Resort does not have a fitness center or a gym on property, which can come as a surprise for guests used to moderate or deluxe resorts that include these amenities. But that doesn't mean you have to skip your workouts while staying here. The resort is built with plenty of outdoor space, and one of the best options is to take advantage of the jogging trail that loops around Hourglass Lake. The path connects Pop Century to Art of Animation and gives you a scenic route where you can walk, run, or even just enjoy a brisk morning stroll while taking in the larger-than-life resort decor. Another option is to use the pools for light exercise, or to get your steps in by exploring the resort grounds, which are filled with fun, nostalgic icons from the 50s through the 90s. Many guests find that walking around Walt Disney World itself provides plenty of exercise, often several miles a day in the parks. So while Pop Century doesn't have a dedicated gym, you'll still have no shortage of ways to get active during the day. The Disney Skyliner is one of the biggest perks of staying at Pop Century. The gondola station is located on Hourglass Lake, right between Pop Century and Art of Animation. That means both resorts share the same station, making it only a short walk no matter where your room is. For guests, this is one of the fastest and most relaxing ways to get to the parks. From Pop Century, the Skyliner takes you to Disney's Hollywood Studios and EPCOT. And this is a huge time saver compared to waiting for buses, especially in the mornings when crowds are heading out to rope drop. Just keep in mind that the Skyliner from Pop Century isn't a straight shot. You do have to transfer at the Caribbean Beach station to go to Hollywood Studios, and you also have to transfer at that station to the Riviera or EPCOT route in order to get to EPCOT. This can be a surprise the first time you are exploring if you haven't checked into the different routes previously. Fun fact, many guests, and especially children, actually think that the Skyliner feels more like an attraction than a mode of transportation. While the Skyliner does not go to Magic Kingdom or Animal Kingdom, it makes getting into EPCOT and Hollywood Studios so much easier. For adults, solo travelers, and families who plan to spend extra time at either of these two parks, this is one of the best reasons to choose Pop Century or Art of Animation over the other value resorts. So who is this resort best for? Pop Century is a favorite for many reasons. If you're a solo traveler, it's a great choice. The resort is affordable, so you can save money for other experiences like dining or tours. The rooms are clean and modern with everything you need without extra frills you may not use. The Skyliner Access makes it simple to head to EPCOT or Hollywood Studios without relying on buses. Plus, the nostalgic theming adds a touch of fun even when you're traveling on your own. This resort is great for parents with kids. Pop Century is a big win for them as the giant characters and colorful theming keep children entertained before you even step foot into the parks. The pools are family friendly and a great place to spend a break day. The Skyliner Access also makes park hopping with strollers much easier than folding everything for the buses. With quick service dining at Everything Pop, parents have convenient food options for even the pickiest eaters. And finally, we think Pop Century also works well for couples who might want to experience value without giving up the magic. The resort feels fun and lighthearted, but the Skyliner gives it the big perk that adds convenience to your stay. So, who may this not be right for? Pop Century isn't going to be right for every traveler. If you're a parent with a larger family of 5 or more, the standard rooms here may feel cramped. In that case, consider Art of Animation's family suites, which are going to give you more space and multiple sleeping areas. If you're a solo traveler who values quiet and relaxation above convenience, you may prefer a moderate or a deluxe resort. After all, these resorts have a calmer vibe, lush grounds, and fewer crowds. For parents who want resort days to be just as much fun as park days, deluxe resorts like the Polynesian or Contemporary offer more dining, bigger pools, and easy access to parks. While they come at a higher cost, the added amenities may be worth it for some families who want to build downtime into their trip. And finally, if budget is the main factor, the all-star resorts are often slightly cheaper than Pop Century. The trade-off is no Skyliner access, but if saving money is your biggest goal, they're a solid option. So the final question we need to answer here is, would we stay at Pop Century again? And would we recommend this resort to others? Everyone in our family loves this resort. It's often our go-to place to stay and always one we are considering when we book a trip to Disney World. Not only are the rooms a good place to sleep, the Skyliner Access gives it the edge above the all-star resorts. And while we like Art of Animation, the price tag at Pop Century is hard to beat. So yes, we not only would stay here again, we highly recommend this resort. Alrighty friends, that wraps up our tour of Pop Century Resort. We hope you enjoyed learning a little more about the property and will consider it for your next trip.